The 5 admirals lounged in the observation deck of the Celestial Accord, a neutral hub suspended between warring galactic powers. 𝙎𝙬𝙤 of the Velnari Dominion leaned back, his chitinous plates clicking with amusement as he swirled a luminescent drink. Our plasma lances reduced the moons of 𝘎𝙬𝙤 to slag in under 6 hours, he boasted, mandibles twitching. The molten debris still glows in their system, a testament to our might. Velnir, her serpentine coils draped over a floating perch, hissed a laugh. Child's play. Our cloaked fleets slipped past the Grythic blockade undetected. They never even saw the torpedoes that gutted their dreadnoughts. 𝙎𝙬𝙤, a hulking mass of armored flesh, slammed a fist on the table. Bah! Stealth is the trick of cowards. The Grav warriors of Thaldros crack planets like eggs. We do not hide, we annihilate. 𝙎𝙬𝙤, her voice a melodic chime, flicked a tendril dismissively. And yet, none of you have faced the swarm. Our psionic disruptors turn their own hive mind against them. They scream as they tear each other apart. 𝙎𝙬𝙤, the smallest but sharpest of them, merely grinned, his needle-like teeth glinting. My people do not waste time with brute force. One nanite can dismantle a battleship from within. Elegance over excess. Then, as if remembering the 5th presence at the table, they turned as one to the human. Captain Elias Vance sipped his synthetic coffee, the steam curling in the low gravity. He said nothing. 𝙎𝙬𝙤 chuckled, a sound like grinding stone. Ah, the Terrans! Still clinging to their chemical rockets and fission toys. Velnir flicked her tongue. Do not embarrass them. They are cute in their simplicity. 𝙎𝙬𝙤 snorted. Tell me, human, what does your pitiful fleet boast of? A few rusting orbital platforms. Vance set his cup down. We don't boast. 𝙎𝙬𝙤 leaned forward. Or is it that you have nothing to boast about? Before Vance could reply, the station's alarms shrieked. A holographic alert flared to life. A devourer swarm had emerged at the edge of the system. The admirals stiffened. 𝙎𝙬𝙤's mandibles clacked in alarm. That's a full harvest fleet. Our nearest reinforcements are hours away. Velnir's scales darkened with panic. They'll strip this station bare before. Vance tapped his wristcom. We'll handle it. Laughter erupted. 𝙎𝙬𝙤 bellowed. With what? Your cargo haulers. Then the human ships dropped out of warp. Not in the distant void where proper fleets emerged. No, they appeared close, too close, as if they'd been lurking unseen the entire time. Their hulls were jagged, asymmetrical, devoid of the gleaming cannons and shimmering shields the aliens associated with warships. Vance stood. You asked what we boast about. His smile was razor-thin. We don't. Outside the viewport, the devourer swarm surged forward, a tide of chitin and claws. The human fleet moved to meet them. The devourer swarm descended like a storm of teeth and claws, their biomechanical horrors blotting out the stars. Thousands of sickle-shaped fighters led the charge, their shrieks vibrating through the Celestial Accord's hull. The alien admirals watched, frozen. This was a death sentence. 𝙎𝙬𝙤's mandibles twitched. Even our combined fleets couldn't stop this many. Your ships are scrap. Vance didn't answer. The human vessels, 12 in total, shifted formation. No grand energy shields flared to life. No plasma cannons charged. Instead, their hulls split, panels sliding apart like the petals of some mechanical flower. What are they doing? 𝙎𝙬𝙤's tendrils coiled in disbelief. Then the humans fired. Not beams. Not missiles. Rods. Tungsten spears, no thicker than a human arm, launched at relativistic speeds. They struck the devourer vanguard, and kept going. Each impact punched clean through a dozen ships before vanishing into the void. The swarm's formation dissolved into spiraling debris. 𝙎𝙬𝙤's massive frame tensed. Kinetic weapons. Primitive. Vance finally spoke. Efficient. The devourers adapted, their remaining ships weaving erratically to avoid the projectiles. But the human fleet shifted again, breaking apart into smaller, fractal clusters. Each group fired in staggered bursts, creating a net of death no evasion could escape. 𝙎𝙬𝙤's needle teeth gritted. This is impossible. Kinetic weapons haven't been viable since the invention of energy shielding. Vance cut in. You're right. Your shields stop plasma, particle beams, even antimatter. But tungsten? He shrugged. Cheap. Easy to make. And when you accelerate it fast enough. A rod struck a Devourer carrier. The alien admirals flinched as the ship folded around the impact, its spine snapping before detonating in a silent fireball. Vellner's scales rippled. You mined your own weapons from asteroids. Repurposed, actually. Vance sipped his coffee. Our mining drones fire these to break up planetoids. Turns out, they work on warships too. The Devourers weren't idle. Their mothership, a monstrous leviathan the size of a small moon, began pulsing with bioluminescent fury. Tendrils of organic circuitry glowed along its surface, charging something terrible. Kosk bellowed, "They're preparing a planet cracker. Your toys won't stop that." Vance set his cup down. "You're right." He tapped his wrist comm. **𝙎𝙠𝙤𝙤 Protocol. **. The human ships didn't retreat. They advanced. The Devourer mothership loomed like a waking god, its pulsating bioluminescence casting eerie shadows across the wreckage of its slaughtered vanguard. The alien admirals watched in mute horror as its central maw dilated, revealing a churning vortex of unstable energy, enough to crack a continent. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤's claws dug into the observation deck's railing. "Even your kinetics mean nothing now. That weapon will vaporize your fleet before they get within range." Vance didn't look away from the viewport. "We know." The human ships didn't slow. They accelerated. Not in formation. Not with any discernible strategy. Each vessel arced on a separate trajectory, vectors intersecting at a single point, the heart of the Devourer's firing path. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤's tendrils stiffened. They're not attacking. They're sacrificing themselves. The first human ship reached optimal distance and detonated. No explosion. No fireball. Space itself warped, a gravitational anomaly rippling outward as the ship's core collapsed into an artificial singularity. The Devourer's planet cracker beam twisted, bending like light around a black hole before being sucked into the void. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤's mandibles hung slack. You weaponized singularities." Vance's voice was calm. "Temporary ones. Unstable. But long enough." One by one, the remaining human ships triggered their cores. Singularities bloomed like dark flowers, their event horizons shredding the Devourer mothership's armor like paper. The Leviathan's bioluminescence flickered wildly as its own weapon backfired, its energy siphoned into the collapsing gravity wells. Kosk roared over the station's shuddering hull. "This is insanity. No species throws away warships like expendable munitions." Vance finally turned to face them. His eyes were cold. "You misunderstand. These aren't warships." Outside, the last human vessel plunged into the Devourer's core, and the mothership imploded, its colossal frame crumpling inward before vanishing in a flash of swallowed light. Silence. Then static crackled over Vance's wrist comm. A human voice, crisp and unaffected, * protocol complete. Asset expenditure within acceptable parameters. *. Vellner's scales had gone pale. "Acceptable? You lost 12 ships." Vance adjusted his cuff. "Correction. We lost 12 vessels." He tapped a command into the console. The holographic display shifted, zooming out to show the edge of the system, where a new signature flickered to life. A ship. Human. But unlike the jagged, asymmetrical sacrificial fleet, this one was sleek. Seamless. Its hull absorbed light rather than reflected it, as if space itself bent around its edges. 𝙎𝙬𝙤's voice was a whisper. That's a dreadnought." Vance smiled. "No. That's a patrol craft." The alien admirals stared. Then the station sensors screeched in overload as hundreds more signatures blinked into existence across the system, each identical. Each waiting. Kosk stumbled back. You lured them here." Vance picked up his coffee. It was still warm. "Now you understand why we don't boast." The silence on the observation deck was absolute. The holographic display still flickered, its sensors struggling to process the impossible fleet now revealed at the system's edge. Hundreds of ships, no, thousands, hung in perfect formation, their dark hulls drinking in starlight. Not a single energy signature bled through. No weapons warmed. No shields shimmered. They simply existed, a silent testament to something the alien admirals couldn't comprehend. 𝙎𝙘𝙞 was the first to break. This is a trick. Some kind of sensor echo. Vance's wrist comm beeped once. The display zoomed in on the nearest human vessel, its surface resolving into impossible detail. Micrometer-thin seams ran along its hull like scars, hinting at compartments that could split open at any moment. Weapon ports. Hangars. The admirals couldn't tell. That was the horror of it. Asterisk they didn't know. Asterisk. 𝙎𝙘𝙤𝙤's needle teeth clicked together. You let us believe you were weak. Vance swirled his coffee. No. You assumed. Kosk's massive fists clenched. All this time, your primitive mining ships, your silence at our boasts, it was a game to you? A flicker of something dark passed behind Vance's eyes. We don't play games. We remember. He set his cup down with deliberate care. Earth's history is written in bones and ashes. We learned 2 lessons. Never show your full strength, and never stop building more. The display shifted again, this time pulling back further, far further, until the entire Orion arm sprawled across the projection. Then the map lit up with thousands of markers. Human outposts. Shipyards. Listening posts. All hidden. All waiting. 𝙎𝙘𝙤𝙤's tendrils went limp. You've been preparing for war this whole time. Vance stood. We're always prepared. He tapped a final command into the console. The projection zoomed in on a single unremarkable star. So, Earth. And orbiting it, half-finished but unmistakable in its scale, a structure that made the Admiral's blood run cold. 𝙎𝙘𝙤's voice cracked. That's a Dyson swarm. Vance didn't smile. Construction's at 38%. Should be operational in another century or 2. The weight of that statement crushed the room. A species that built megastructures while pretending to be harmless. A civilization that sacrificed ships like spent ammunition because they had thousands more. 𝙎𝙘𝙤 whispered the truth they all felt. You're not just hiding your strength. You're hiding your scale. Vance walked to the viewport, where the last remnants of the Devourer swarm drifted as lifeless debris. Here's the thing about humans, he said quietly. We don't conquer. We don't boast. We watch. And when something threatens us. Outside, the Dark Fleet began to move, not in attack, but in perfect, synchronized withdrawal. Disappearing once more into the void. Vance turned back to the admirals. His expression was unreadable. You'll never see us coming. The alien admirals stood frozen long after he left. The station's alarms had stopped. The Devourers were gone. But the galaxy, they realized, had just become infinitely more terrifying. Somewhere in the dark, humanity was watching. And counting. The admirals didn't move for a full minute after Vance left. The weight of revelation pressed down on them heavier than any planetary gravity. 𝙎𝙘𝙤's mandibles twitched uncontrollably. We need to report this. Immediately. 𝙎𝙘𝙤's scales rippled with nervous energy. Report what exactly? That everything we know about human military doctrine is wrong. That they've been building a war machine in plain sight while we laughed at their primitive ships. Kosk slammed his fist against the bulkhead, the metal groaning under the impact. They played us. The entire galactic community. Those weren't sacrificial ships, they were decoys. Expendable probes sent to test our reactions. 𝙎𝙘𝙤's tendrils coiled tight around her datapad as she pulled up star charts. Look at their expansion patterns. Every human colony, every outpost, positioned at perfect tactical intervals. Not for trade. Not for exploration. For containment. 𝙎𝙘𝙤's claws clicked rapidly against the console. Worse. They're not just hiding their fleet strength, they've been mapping our weaknesses this entire time. He pulled up decades of diplomatic records. Every trade negotiation, every cultural exchange, humans asked the right questions. Learned exactly how our weapons work, our shield frequencies, our fleet deployments. A new alert flashed across the screens. Long-range sensors detected movement near the edge of explored space. Not human ships. Something else. 𝙎𝙚𝙤𝙤 hissed. The 𝙎𝙘𝙤𝙞 swarm. They've crossed into the 𝙎𝙘𝙤𝙤 sector. 𝙎𝙘𝙤 growled. That's 3 systems away from human colony HD 40307G. The admirals exchanged glances. A terrible understanding passed between them. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤 activated the comm. Get me the High Chancellor. Priority Alpha. Static crackled before the 𝙎𝙚nari leader's image appeared. Report. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤 hesitated only a second. Recommend immediate withdrawal of all forces from the 𝙎𝙬𝙤 sector. Full evacuation. The Chancellor's eye stalks stiffened. That's prime territory. The 𝙎𝙘𝙤𝙤. We'll be dead within hours, 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤 interrupted. And we need to not be there when it happens. As the transmission cut, the station's AI suddenly projected a new alert: energy spikes in the 𝙎𝙬𝙤 sector. Not weapons fire. Not drive signatures. Gravitational anomalies. Dozens of them. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤's voice shook. They're already there. The display zoomed in. Human ships, different from both the sacrificial fleet and the dark patrol craft, materialized from what should have been empty space. Their hulls shimmered with some unknown cloaking technology, now deactivated as they positioned themselves in perfect formation around the invading swarm. No warnings transmitted. No demands for surrender. Then space itself rippled as the human ships activated their weapons. Not kinetics. Not plasma. Reality tore. The 𝙎𝙘𝙤𝙤 vessels didn't explode, they unraveled, their molecular structures coming apart in perfect, silent disintegration. Within minutes, an entire invasion force ceased to exist. Kosk's breathing came heavy. That's not possible. 𝙎𝙚nari watched as the human ships, their task completed, vanished once more. No victory messages. No gloating transmissions. Just silence. Then new data scrolled across the screens. Deep space telescopes picked up similar events across 6 other sectors. Always the same pattern: threats emerging near human space, then being erased with terrifying precision. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤 accessed classified files, cross-referencing dates. This has been happening for years. We never noticed because the humans leave no evidence. No wreckage. No energy signatures. Just missing ships. The admirals stood in stunned silence as the implications settled over them. Humanity wasn't just strong. They were ruthless. And they'd been cleaning house right under everyone's noses. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤 finally voiced the thought they all shared. The galaxy belongs to them. We just don't know it yet. Outside the viewport, stars twinkled indifferently. Somewhere out there, the human fleet waited. Watching. Judging. Controlling. The game had been over before it even began. The High Chancellor's hologram flickered out, leaving the admirals in suffocating silence. The station's climate control hummed too loud. The air tasted metallic. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤 was the first to move, his claws dancing across the tactical display. I'm running deep scans on all border sectors adjacent to human space. The star maps lit up with crimson markers, hundreds of disappearances, unexplained energy fluctuations, entire patrol routes gone dark over decades. All near human territories. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤's tendrils trembled as she cross-referenced the data. The Borland mining colony disappearance 3 cycles ago, the vanishing of the Earthic survey fleet, even the lost Kessic reinforcements during the Third Swarm War. Her voice dropped to a whisper. All happened within 1 light year of human outposts. Kosk's armored fists clenched until the servos whined. They've been culling threats before they could even reach us. A new alert blared. The long-range arrays had picked up something else. Not ships. Not weapons. Structures. 𝙎𝙚nari's scales flattened against her body as the images resolved. Orbital plates the size of continents. Dyson segments under construction around red dwarfs. Vast, incomprehensible frameworks being assembled in the dark between galaxies. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤's mandibles clicked rapidly. They're not just building warships. They're reconstructing the galaxy. The tactical display suddenly zoomed in on a single unremarkable yellow star, Sol. Earth. The image sharpened, revealing a network of quantum-linked stations forming a perfect sphere around the system. Not a defense grid. A cage. 𝙎𝙬𝙤𝙤's breathing hitched. That's not containment. That's a lock. Vellner's tongue flicked out nervously. On what? The answer came not from sensors, but from history files. Ancient records. Pre-spaceflight human texts scrolling across secondary screens. Myths of sealed evils. Forgotten gods. Warnings etched in stone and parchment. Do not open. Do not look inside. Do not wake them. Kosk roared, slamming his fist into the console. They're not protecting us from threats. They're protecting the universe from whatever they locked away. Silence swallowed the room again, deeper this time. The implications settled like neutron star matter. Then the station's comm system activated on its own. A human voice, calm and measured, filled the chamber. Admirals. You have seen enough. The view screens blanked. The scanners reset. All evidence of human megastructures vanished from their records like it had never existed. Only one message remained, flashing on every terminal in simple black text. Curious species get declassified. You are not ready to be curious. The admirals stood frozen as the station systems rebooted normally. Outside the viewport, the stars shone peacefully. Somewhere in the dark between them, humanity kept watch. And somewhere deeper still, behind layers of quantum locks and event horizon barriers, something ancient and terrible waited. The galaxy had always feared the wrong thing. The real horror wasn't what humanity could do. It was why they'd needed to become this strong. And what they were still afraid of.